Hello, everybody. It's been a minute, but it hasn't been as long of a minute as the last time. So that's good. It's only been maybe, 3 months or 2.5 months? Hey, I don't have very long today. I have to go pick up my sweetie from work in a bit, but all of a sudden, as I was sitting here looking around, I realized I have just a few things to show off. Yeah, that's it. Nothing big or important. Well, I mean, it's all important, right? But I want to show you first what I got from one of my Secret Santas at work. You guys, look at this. Let's see, how can I show this best? It's amethyst and quartz crystal, and there's turquoise, and it is just the most beautiful thing. And I am so excited to have this in my collection. So one of my coworkers made this for me. She is extremely talented, and I cannot get over the coolness of it, and I just wanted to show you that. It's absolutely divine. It's going to be a ritual piece. It's definitely not something I will wear daily, partly just because it's a big piece, but this piece feels really, really special to me, and so I'm just going to keep it for ritual wear. But I wanted to share that because I thought you'd like it. It's so lovely. I have at my work some of the most talented, brilliant, creative minds. It's so refreshing to work in a place where there's so much creativity. So there's that. I wanted to show you that. I did get myself another piece. I feel like I showed this, but I was going back through some of my older videos and I didn't see it anywhere, so I'm just going to go ahead and show this. I don't know if you can see this here. I'll use this as a backdrop. This is a piece by Borealis Ironworks, and if you have the means at any point, I would highly recommend picking up a piece of their work. This is a beautiful snake pendant. Her name is Lilith. I named her. But they procured a cemetery gate, and they took the slats from that cemetery gate and they created jewelry out of them, and they're so beautiful. And this is the first one I saw, and I instantly fell in love with her. Her little face is just too precious. And she also is really too big to wear as a daily piece. They have other smaller versions, but I needed her in my life. So she's another ritual piece for me. So there's those two cool things that I wanted to show you. That'll come later. Over the holidays, well, right before the holidays, one of my coworkers brought this amazing book to work and was showing me, and I was like, I need that book in my life. And it is this book. It is called Quadrivium, and it is put out by, I knew this a second ago. Oh, it's Wooden Books. If you go to woodenbooks.com, they have a whole series. So they also have a whole bunch of more like pamphlet style books. They're small little short little books that are just like basically chapters of what these big books are. But the Quadrivium is the 4 classical liberal arts of number, geometry, music, and cosmology. And the thing that I love about this book, about this series of books, is that, let's see, where are we at? Here we are. There's a lot of diagrams, and there's a lot of information packed into it, but it's not just a picture book. The diagrams are really helpful in instructing and describing exactly what it is that they're talking about. And they do a beautiful job. The artwork is just exceptionally rendered. And this is all about the numbers and the maths and the, more sciencey kind of stuff, including, your astrology / astronomy. I mean, it's just, anyway, really, really cool book. So I fell in love with it. Well, I got online when I got home, that night, and realized that they have a 4-volume set. So I got them all because I do love me some books. So another one is Trivium. Same kind of thing. where, you know, everything is, it's really simply laid out. It's very simple to follow, but it covers a lot of really great topics that aren't necessarily simple, but it makes it easy to learn and fun to learn, and it's really cool. So Trivium is the classical liberal arts of grammar, logic, and rhetoric. That's what that one's based on. There's something for everybody in these books. The third one is Megalith. Actually, I don't know if that's the third one or the first one or the second one. It's just the third one I'm showing you. Studies in Stone. So it takes you all around the world to all of the sacred sites that involve, you know, large stones, from Stonehenge to whatever other henge might be out there. But it goes over, you know, topographical maps of different areas, and like how they, you know, at certain times of the year, these stone monoliths line up in a certain way with the stars, and how they would have known that way back then. It's really, really cool. It's really in depth. And there's a lot of like sacred geometry involved. Like even on the cover here, you can see like down in here, this is an aerial view, and it shows you how, anyway, I'm not going to get into it a huge amount, but go check it out, woodenbooks.com, and you can see more. And then Scientia, which is of course the mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, and astronomy. There's more astronomy in here, which makes me super happy. And the coolest thing about these, it's not just, these books are not just from a scientific perspective, which I value. I definitely value a scientific perspective, but there's also a lot of magic thrown in. And the way that they seamlessly blend together is really fucking fabulous. And I highly recommend getting these books. I've been spending a lot of time just devouring them. I'm almost completely through the first one, and it's only been a couple of weeks. And I sit down a couple of times, and all of a sudden 3 hours have gone by. So they are definitely keeping me entertained. Looking at the clock. Gosh, I should have started this later, but I wanted to do this now. I was all excited, and anyway, I was burning some incense in the house that I probably shouldn't have been burning inside. So I've got windows open right now, so it's kind of cold. So if I shiver and a little bit, I'm not sick. I did a stupid. Did I ever show you guys this? I don't know if I did. I know I showed you the one that I made for my daughter that is the uterus of flowers. This is an image that I saw. It was a drawing that I saw online, and someone had taken that drawing and turned it into a cross stitch. And I thought, how cool. Well, I don't have any cross stitch stuff right now, but I have lots of embroidery stuff. So I took the drawing and turned it into an embroidery and put it on a tea towel. And I feel like I might have showed you this, but it might have been months ago, and I just ran across it again, and I had stuffed it away in a drawer. And anyway, I thought you might like to see that again. It's pretty rad. Yay! Spiders. I love spiders in embroidery. I don't love them in my bed or in my house. They can stay outside. I made a pattern. I made a corn dolly out of wool. So is it a wool dolly? I don't know what it is, but it's kind of a corn dolly shape, and I was inspired to do that because I didn't see any other patterns that I liked for it. And maybe I showed you this too. I don't know. I may have, I may not have. This is going to be a short episode, y'all. Shorter. Real quickly, I started working on my daughter's blanket again. I'm making my daughter a blanket that is like the magical throw blanket from Ursi Knits that I made for me and my partner. And I just wanted to show you these blocks again real quick. I've got a couple of blocks finished. And so I just wanted to just real quickly show them again. So we have the goddess block. Yay. We have the Libra or alchemical sublimation block, whichever way you want to look at that. My daughter happens to be a Libra. I collect Libras in my life. I think I've probably said that a number of times. All the best people are Libras. Except for me, Capricorn. This is the Horned God. Some of these, as you can see, I used textured stitches rather than two colors. Sometimes just because I was feeling lazy and I didn't want to hassle with two colors. So two colors is it's kind of hard when you're dealing with images or symbols that have like straight lines. Like, for example, the sign of Sagittarius, not Sagittarius, the sign of Virgo, or the sign of Scorpio. They're like an M with a little extra, right? Well, the pillars of what make that M, when you're doing color work, the space between the color and the background color, like the main color and the design color, it tends to like kind of bunch or just have too much space sometimes. And you know, I've been knitting for a long ass time. I've done a lot of color work projects. The only time I ever run into this is with images like that. So I almost wonder if just like duplicate stitching afterwards wouldn't be better. But I didn't want to do that because by the time I have the block done, I'm ready to be done with it. I don't want to go back and do more stitching on it. So for some of these, I just went ahead and did textured stitches instead of two colors. Some of these, like this one, was really, really easy. This is Hecate's wheel, and it was super, super easy to do with the two colors because you're switching back and forth frequently enough, and you're not going like 10 stitches and then 2 stitches and then 10 stitches and then 2 stitches. That's where, I don't know, I always run into trouble there. I don't know if there's a secret. If there's a secret to making that kind of thing look good, somebody tell me about it. Got the Capricorn because mommy's a Capricorn. We've got the sun, because why the heck not? Her name is Sunshine. We've got the Eye of Ra. Might be kind of hard to see, maybe not so hard. Again, texture, did not want to deal with that. What I didn't want to deal with, let's see if I can do this in a way. So you've got the eye, bloop, 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 but then you've got all this empty space here, and I didn't want to deal with trying to float a stitch from here to here. Like, no. No, no, no. So you just got to be wise about it, I guess. Okay, we've got the Mercury block. I just finished that one. Again, might be easier to see at certain angles, but you get the idea. Knits and purls to make the design. Oh, I showed you the back part of it. That's the front part of it. Maybe I showed you the front part of it. We've got the Pentacle. You've seen this one before, but that's ready to go. We've got the Triple Moon. I think I showed you this a couple of episodes ago, but it's been a long time. Pretty, pretty. And, you know, speaking of that, I don't seem to run into that problem when the design itself is just 1 stitch wide. I tend to run into it when it's 2 stitches wide, followed by a big gap between the next 2. So there's something about that. It's got to be a math thing or a, I don't know. It's not a tension thing because my tension is good. Like, I can look at the back and everything's even and nice and it stretches enough, but not too much. It's not a tension thing. I think it's just a physics thing. I just finished. This is a little wonky because I had it like this, so it kind of dried a little funny, but I'll flatten it out again. But this is the Aquarius block for her. Kind of hard to see. And then I just finished the Scorpio block. And this is what I'm talking about. I would not have wanted to, you know, knit 2 greens and then 10 whatever other color. You get what I'm talking about. If you're a knitter, you know what I mean. If you're not, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And that's okay too. So, those are the make. Oh, no, there's one more. There's one more little set of makes. I've been making a lot of stuff. I'm not showing most of it. Because a lot of it was holiday stuff, and I feel like now that the holidays are over, I'll just save it for, you know, for next year or whatever. But I did start, I found this cute little free pattern on Ravelry. It's for, some people call these a bunting, where you take a bunch of little triangular shapes and you string them together, and then you can hang them, you know, from the ceiling or whatever. Some people call them pennants, some people call them buntings, some people call them banners. I've heard other names for them. I can't think off the top of my head. I don't know. Whatever they are. These are super cute. They're crocheted, little crocheted triangles with a little embroidered spider web on them. And there's going to be, I'll probably make 9 of them. I have 5 of them done. And they just take like, God, these little things probably take, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes if that, if I'm watching a show and really into it. But yeah, that'll be fun. We'll put those on the wall or hang them from the ceiling. Super, super fun. Oh, while I'm here, I might as well show you something that my sweetheart made for me. Oh my God. So they've gotten into wood burning and kind of took to it like a duck to water. I mean, what? This was done by hand, not a machine. They used math and a compass to get the star on there, and then hand drew each item and then burnt the negative space. The house smelled so good while they were doing this, but it took them a little while, and it was a labor of love. And when they were done with it, they were talking about possibly turning it into a clock, and I was just like, oh man. And I took this thing, I was like, let me borrow that for a few minutes, I need to take some pictures. And I used it to put some of my little goddess poppets or something on that I was taking pictures for Etsy, and I used it kind of as the background for Etsy. And I guess I was raving about it so much that they came in here while I was uploading Etsy pictures, and they were like, this is for you. I was like, yay! It's my beautiful thing. So yeah, I absolutely love this thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I mean, you could use it for, I could use it for divination or for just all kinds of stuff. But for right now, it's just a beautiful piece that sits in my room that I sometimes use to take pictures with. So there's that. And then, let's see, time. Okay, we're still doing good. I just wanted to show you, I've been working a lot in my Book of Shadows. This is moving from the craft to the craft, okay? And I know that I showed you some of my pages, but I wanted to show you kind of what I meant by a post journal. So this, pardon me, my cats, they live in my house, okay? And they have scratched the shit out of the cover of this thing, which is fine because the cover of this thing is going to be covered with an artistic piece of some sort. I'm not sure if I'm going to have my sweetheart wood burn me a plank to go on top and I could like rivet it in, or if I'm going to do like a quilt piece to go on the top or draw on it. I don't know. But my cats have scratched the living shit out of it, so just ignore that part. But this is a post journal. I'll scooch back just a smidge. So this is the back of it. When you open it up, you see, I am so backwards. The post. So there's the top post, there's the bottom post, and basically that thing is too high. I got a huge monitor. It's a huge monitor. It's like 6 inches taller than the one that I'm used to, that used to be like down here so I could easily show stuff. I'm gonna have to figure something out. Anyway, these posts unscrew, and then the whole top comes off, and then you can unflap the little leather part. The leather part is what makes the spine, that guy there. And then you can get bigger posts or smaller posts. And this thing, you know, when you're done with it, it could end up being like that thick. I mean, it could be like all the way up there. Or bigger. You could get bigger posts. But regardless, I am going to take this apart because I think it'll be easier to show you. I want to show you some of these pages that I've done. I already showed you some last time. Oh, come here, you. See, these are just like little aluminum screws, and they just unscrew. And then that whole top just pops off like that. And, oh yeah, I'll cover that with something or paint it, or who knows. Who knows? And then the leather part comes off, and then you can just take the pages out. So it looks like that. I believe they used to be called post ledgers, but I call them post journals now. I've already showed you that one. And I showed you that one. This is kind of just a fun little page. I had some leftover cuttings that were all the same size because I was using the other pieces for something else. And those just are properties of the elements. So I've got the color associations. We've got your east and your south and your, your south, your west, and your north over here. With all of their little associations written on them with their little symbols. So that's fun. That was kind of just a filler page because I had something else on the back. Got that full moon ritual, the witch tools. I've showed you those. I showed you my astrology stuff. And then I think that was as far as we got. Yeah, so I have a whole bunch more stuff since then. I kind of just, and this isn't like this is what you need to do. This is just what I have in my journal, like in my book of shadows. I think that a book of shadows is something that you should keep for your whole life. It's like a life diary. It's just all the stuff you learn on your path. And you can make it pretty or you can make it plain. And I think I said before that, you know, I have a really big creative side, but I'm also a Capricorn. So the Capricorn wants lists and checkboxes and like task finished or whatever. But then my creative side's like, no, you got to make it pretty. So I do both. Some of it is kind of list style and some of it is artistic. This is more well, it's kind of a cross between both because I didn't do any of the art on this. All these bottles, I didn't draw them, but I did make lists inside them, and now it's pretty. And what this is how to basic. Google how to basic, by the way. But this is how to do tinctures, elixirs, essences, spirits, syrups, decoctions, infusions, liniments, ointments, and lozenges. And I loved that it's medicine bottles. And this is how to do just, you know, the basic how-to of herbal medicine. So that's kind of the start of my herbal medicine area. And that's fun. I've got a whole big section that is devoted to herbs. And I do this in different ways because I like different kinds of connections. I like how this connects with that, but this also connects with this thing over here, and that comes all the way back around and connects with this thing. Those little things like that make me really happy. So I started off with sacred herbs of the gods, and I wrote down a whole bunch of gods. The gods are all in bold, and I wrote down a list on beautiful paper of the herbs that are sacred to those gods. And then on the back side, I have planetary herbs. So the same herbs, but which planetary associations they have. And there's probably more, actually. There's more on this than there is because I looked up all the herbs, like all of them. And I have them all on here. So that's every herb that exists. No, but it's like all of the main ones plus as many others as I could find. So we've got deity specific, we've got planetary specific. It goes deeper. We've got elemental specific. So which herbs are for fire and water and air and earth? And I'm moving my thing. There we go. And it's on beautiful paper, which makes me so happy. But it also has lists, which makes me so happy. You can have it all. Oh, but it gets deeper because on the back side, herbs of the zodiac, which herbs are associated with Taurus or Capricorn or Libra, and so on and so forth. That one's a little harder to see because it is on a busier paper. It's easier to see in person. But it's just ideas. You know, you might see something here and go, oh, I could totally do that in mine. I showed you that one already. One of the things I like to keep track of is tarot spreads that I like. And this is one that our high priestess taught us from a book. It's not her invention, but she taught it to us because she appreciates it very much. And this is the 15 card spread from Aleister Crowley's Book of Thoth. It's a very, very good spread. It's a long spread, but if you're getting into it, if you're just wanting to really dive in and get to the juice and the meat of the matter, it's a great spread to play around with. And then I've got a couple of pages here devoted to candle magic. I do a lot more candle magic than I give myself credit for. I don't specifically necessarily call what I'm doing candle magic, but I use candles and I use their appropriate colors and things like that for a lot of different things. But I like candle magic. I'm very much drawn to it. I just hasn't really been, you know, my main thing. But this is fun, right? We have lists and we have art, and I did this art. So we've got all the different colors and a description of what those candles, you know, types of spells and attributes that those candles have. And I just love it. I love how it turned out. And I got really creative with Sunday here and used gold and yellow because you could go either way. And actually with Wednesday's candle, you could use orange or you could use a multicolored candle. And there's different lines of thought on color. If you grew up in a Waldorf household, Wednesday isn't going to be orange. It's probably going to be purple. And that's fine. I didn't grow up in a Waldorf household, so I go with the traditional color associations on those guys, but whatever you want to do. This is fun, you guys. This, I have in here a candle revelation spell, and this is a really fun beginner spell. If you want to dive into something that's beginner, that's harmless. This is not some magic you don't want to dive into when you're a brand new beginner because you really want to know what you're doing. This is not that. This is something that you could totally dive into. And I will just tell you real quick how to do it. Oh, do I have time? I'm cutting it short. So basically, you're going to need a tea light. You're going to need the juice of a lemon in a little cup, and fresh lemon juice works best, but you can use bottled lemon juice. You're going to need a skewer, like a toothpick or a barbecue skewer, something like that. Some pieces of paper and a bowl. And I'm just going to read this to you. Set the candle up in an uncluttered space. You'll cast and consecrate your circle. That part is important. If you don't know how to do that, go find out how to do that first. But invoke only the salamander or fire elemental to guide you. With the question clear in your mind, take the skewer and using the lemon juice as ink, write out any possible answers to the question that you can think of. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. Write 10 different answers, however many answers you want. Yes, no, not right now. Whatever it is, if it's a yes or no question, you can keep it simple. If you know that there's 4 different things that could come out of the situation, but you want to know which one it is, write down those 4 different things, all on an individual piece of paper. And then what you're going to do, you're going to put your slips in that bowl. You're going to reach around there. You're going to say, Salamander of dancing flame, what is it that I have to gain? Reveal the answer for me to see. In the name of spark, ember, and flame, so mote it be. Then you're going to pull your piece of paper and you're going to pass it over the flame. And when you do that, the heat will react with that lemon juice and reveal your solution. Then you thank your elemental and you release them graciously. And that's it. That's a really fun, you know, something that like a suitable beginner spell, I would say. Yeah, so I've got that. That's fun. Yay! I started on, and actually, I think okay, I got them finished. I'll put finished in air quotes because I'm going to add more stuff to this. But I started the Sabbats. So we've got Samhain, and it's just got, you know, the date, how do you pronounce it, other names that it's called by, all the associations, what kinds of things we do for that holiday, and I've got these all in order. So we've got Samhain, and then Yule, and that was a fun one. Festive paper. I love festive paper. And then we've got Imbolc, which comes next, and then Astra. Some people say Ostara. That drives me crazy. But I try to let it go because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But if you want to know, it's Astra. There we go. Then we've got Beltane. Ooh. And then we've got Letha. And this one I'd like to decorate some more. I started getting more creative the more I went into it. I was like, ooh, I've got this and that I could put on there. But I wanted to get them done. And then we've got Lammas or Lunasa. And I like that one a lot. And then we've got Mabon, which, you know, some people say that. Some people say just, oh, you guys, I just lost my thought. My brain. Autumn equinox, fall equinox, autumn equinox, whatever. Mabon apparently is a made-up word, but I feel like in the grand scheme of things, aren't all words made up? I mean, they mean what we decide that they mean, right? So I got a page going on poppet magic, since I make so many of those fun poppets. We've got, you know, poppet magic and the dark bits. Don't play with that if you're not new. Or if you are new, rather. We've got a houseplant blessing. This I found in one of Scott Cunningham's books, and I loved it. It was so precious and sweet, and it just goes through how to bless a new plant into your house, and it's just so sweet. So I found this really beautiful paper, and just decided to do it on that. And the back of that is beautiful too. I can put something there. Who knows what I'll put there. And then moving towards the back of my book here, I have rituals that I have been personally involved in, whether as a participant or as a spectator, but typically as a ritualist. Most of these are all, well, actually all of these I've been a ritualist. I love being in ritual. I volunteer every time. It's so much fun. So we've got Samhain of 2017. That was our silent ritual. It was absolutely breathtaking. I've got Samhain of 2015. And you may find that there's a lot more Samhain in here than there are other. Samhain happens to be our favorite holiday. We have the anniversary ritual of our magical garden, and that was the 20th. So 2018, and then we've got 2019 on the back. And I've got a bunch more out there that I just need to get put into sleeves. Oh, I've got a Kitchen Witch section that I just started too, which is going to just have, you know, everyday magical recipes. Cakes and ale. These are two of the recipes. Well, the recipe for cakes and ale that we used one Samhain, and this cake is an apple rosemary cake. It is so moist and delicious. Sometimes you'll go to a Samhain and the cakes and ale are kind of, you know, I mean, they're serving a purpose, but there isn't any reason why they can't also be delicious. That is what all of the Libras in my life have taught me. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be delicious, but why shouldn't it be? Yeah, so there's that. That was really good. And then I've got Swedish Glögg for Yule on the back of that one. In the back of my book, I have to go so soon. I'm cutting it short. In the back of my book, I have a section dedicated to the dark bits, the nasties, the things that you shouldn't do, things that you shouldn't mess with, but you still do sometimes because you need to. Those things are okay. Try not to mess with them, but you know, the thing is, bad stuff happens, and sometimes you got to step in. And I'm not encouraging you to go out and hex your ex-boyfriend, but there are situations where hexes and curses need to happen. And what I like to do with those, I make a record of everything that I do, but I don't want prying eyes to just pass over it and see. So I cover it up with a beautiful paper. So that's a helpful thing. Or I put it in an envelope and seal it. And never speak of it again unless you're sharing it online with all of your online friends. In the back of my book, the very far back, I just mangled my room, you guys. I have lists of all of the, come on, camera, herbs and oils and resins and everything that I have. All my essential oils. This, I need to update this because I have like 60 new oils that I haven't gotten in here. But yeah, that's what that is. I had a few new, like 4 minutes. I have 4 minutes before I have to leave. I have a few new pages that I don't yet have in those fancy, shiny paper protectors yet. I don't really like paper protectors, but I also want my shit to last, so it's this ongoing conundrum of how can I be more earth-friendly, and also how can I make sure that if something gets spelled, it's not going to ruin my stuff. I don't know. This stuff is never going away. I just started my tarot section. I've been busy, you guys. And this is not in any particular order. It's all out of order. Oh, real quick, back to the herbs. I also have a list, front and back, of the Latin binomials. So, like, let's find a good example. Oh, digitalis is a word that means having fingers. And then, let's see here. Purpureus is purple. It's Latin for purple. So digitalis purpurea, purple foxglove, fingers like a glove. Anyway, it's just the list to help me remember what my binomials mean. And that helps you, you know, when you're making herbal medicine, it helps you remember which thing you know, there's 14 different things that people call sandalwood, but there's really only one genus of sandalwood, you know, that you're going to use, or two, or whatever it is, but they're different. Long story short, okay, tarot. So I just started writing it all down. This is kind of a conglomeration of a lot of expert thought on the tarot. I did not look in like Butterfly Moon Dancers Tarot 101, but I don't mean to be condescending. No, I do mean to be condescending. I went to experts, people who were legit experts in the field of tarot, and I gleaned the information that they have written and put it all together. You know, if this person and this person and this person and this person all agree that that's what the card means, that's going to end up in my mind. That's going to end up, this is the general agreement what this means. If you've got 7 people saying that the Tower is a card that can represent destruction, but also a chance for rebuilding, and then you've got Bunny Pookie Noggin over here saying that it's actually a marriage card, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to look at that and go, I think you're probably wrong about that. I think you're probably wrong about that. So, anyway, those I just started. Cups, wands, swords, blah, blah, blah. I've got separate pages for all of the numbered cards, and then I've got one page for all of the aces, and then I've got one page each for the page/princess, for the knights, for the queens, and for the kings. And yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Lots of paper. You're getting tired of seeing paper. I just wanted to give you an idea of the kinds of things that I'm putting in my Book of Shadows. So hopefully, if you're like, I'm not really sure what goes in there, now you'll know. Everything goes in there. Literally everything that you learn along your path. I'll have a section in here for dreams. I'll have a section in here for geomancy. Geomancy's coming next because it's one of my most, oh, geez Louise, this is going to drop all over the place. Sorry if it makes a noise. Get your shit together, Zira. Okay, coming back later. I'm in a hurry. Anyway, geomancy is one of my very favorite forms of divination. I love it so very much. So that'll be coming soon, and I can't wait to show you that because that's going to be very graphically illustrated. That'll be really fun. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Sorry to ramble. I know this was super, super rambly. I was trying to get a lot of like shit across in like a relatively short amount of time because I gotta go. I gotta go right now. Okay, love you. Bye.